Okay, saving your image. Now the size and the format in which you save your image will be dictated by your client. Um, well, when you're out there working, your client will tell you, hey, if you're taking pictures for yourself, you will dictate this. For the sake of this class, you will do this 3 ways. And actually making this a habit will serve you well in the future. So the first way you will save an image is a way in which you will preserve all of these layers, and that's a Photoshop format, a .psd. So navigate up to File and select Save As, and you will save this as 1192 and the semester, which in this case is spring 18, underscore your last name, underscore week 3 full. That's just because that's what this week is. Be sure there's a PSD here. If it was a different format, make sure you change it to Photoshop, and make sure that layers is checked and embed color profile is checked, especially if it's Adobe RGB, and hit save. Maximize compatibility. Yep. Okay. So that's saved. That's version 1. Second version is going to be smaller. You will save a print version. In this case, we're looking at the longest side of the print is going to be 10 inches. So we got to change the side of this. Actually, we don't need all these layers because we have the original saved. So go up to Layer and click Flatten Image. That's going to make this file size much smaller. So now the image is flat. Now we'll change the size of the image so it prints well. Image size, drag this into view. You know, it already is 8 by 10. Okay, so what I want you to do is save the longest layer as 10 inches long at 300 dpi. So that already exists here. The longest side is 10. Let's say you needed to change that. You needed to upscale. If I hit 12, notice how the resolution goes down. That's because all of these are linked. I cancel that. If I cancel, it means I didn't do anything. So to show you how this works, go to image size. And if I hit resample, that means that the width and the height are linked, but the resolution's not. So if I change the width to 10, I've just upscaled the whole thing, but the resolution's the same. So we're losing some pixels there. Well, we're actually making up some pixels. So let's cancel. Ultimately, what you want to do is get to a size in which the longest edge, whether it's height or width, whether the 10 is on height or width, and a resolution of 300. Rule of thirds. Let's see what this thing does, just for size. Okay, here's a good example, because this is all over the place. 62.5 inches by 41.667 inches at a resolution of 72. So that's a low resolution. If I just change that to 300, according to the requirements, then I can see that, change that first, then I can see that my real height is 10 by 15. Okay, so that fits, that happens to fit, right? Actually, but I need my longest side to be 10 inches. And my longest side is actually 15. So that's larger than I need, which is great at a 300 resolution. So I'm going to hit OK because it's still larger. Go back to image size again, and it doesn't need to be 15. But if I change this to 10, then my resolution's gone up. I don't need that much resolution. Hit cancel. Let's go to image size again. If I click resample, that means that the width and height are something I can change, and the resolution is going to stay the same. So once I've established the resolution of 300 pixels per inch, then I can change the width and the height. Now the longest dimension I need is 10. So I don't need 15. I'm going to make that 10. So this is a 10 by 6 2/3 inch picture by 300. I hit OK. That's what I can save. Now let's go back to our real picture. Our 8 by 10, so our longest side is 10. That fits the requirements. Our resolution is 300. That fits our requirements, so OK. And all the layers are flattened, so I'm going to go to File, and then Save As. This is the same name as before, but print. And I need to save this as a TIFF. And hit save. Image compression, none. Great. So that's our print size. That means with the layers compressed, it's a smaller file. It means it's easier to send to the printer. It's easier to send via email, but it's still a big enough file to print effectively. Our third version is the web version. And that requires 1080 pixels on the longest side at 72 dpi. So I need to change this even again. Go to image size. This is not 72 pixels per inch, and our width and height are in terms of inches, so I need to change that. So I click on inches, turn it into pixels, and I see how many pixels I really have. Okay. All right, so I've converted it to pixels. There's another step you can do while this is still live, but once we have this to pixels, I'm just going to hit OK. I'm going to do it baby step by baby step. Image size. Our resolution's too high, okay? So it needs to be 72 pixels per inch, or dots per inch. So I'm going to change that, 72. I changed that, and look how small this is. This is 720 by 576. And my requirements are 1080. So that needs to be bigger. So I'm going to cancel. Image size. I'm going to unclick resample. If I unclick it, then resolution, height, and width are linked. So that means I'm not losing any pixels. So if I change the resolution to 72, then this is huge in inches. That's great. I've changed the resolution, and if things are bigger, I've saved something. So okay. Go back to image size. Now I'm going to resample. So the resolution stays the same at 72. That's not going to change. Width and height. My maximum side, so the height is longest, is how many pixels? That's a lot of pixels. It's more than I need. So I'm going to change that to 1080. Okay. So let's check it. I can always check it by going image size, and I have 1080 pixels on the longest side at 72, well, dots per inch or pixels per inch. Okay, so now I can save this because it fits the requirements. Again, save as. Not saving it as a TIFF. It's going to the web. The web demands JPEG, so JPEG. You can save the embedded color profile, or you can just unclick it for JPEGs, because a lot of times the web strips it. Make sure it's not the same thing you just saved a moment ago. Make sure you rename it to web. And web can be quality 8, high. Doesn't need to be max, just as long as it's high and not medium or low, okay? Let me drag these over. So what I have now, let's close this. Look at all this stuff. What I have now are 3 images, all the same name, just this is a full one. That's a .psd, which means it's full size, has all of the layers. This is the print size one, that's a TIFF. All the layers are flattened. And this is the web size, which is a JPEG, and it's small for print standards, but big enough for the web. And when we're done, we place all of these in this case, the week 3 folder.